the intent of the resolution is to do this post-election. So it's to look at what happened.
The bill doesn't say that. The resolution does not say that.
Well, that is the intent of the resolution, is not to do an investigation of the election while it's ongoing. It's to look at all the practices that are put into place.
And so, Mr. Chairman, so it would start on November 4th?
Just if I could continue, so right now, on the ground in Pennsylvania, there is being remote voting put into place in the city of Philadelphia that we're all reading about. We're having practices done in other counties with drop boxes. We're having practices, and the point of this is to, after the election, look at all the things that have been done, all the different court orders that were put in place, all the different legislation that was passed, all the different factors that went into this election, and look and see what was good, what was bad, what we can do better. We've attempted to pass legislation to work on the lessons that we learned in the primary election. This is to look at the practices that were put in place and how this election worked out, so that next session we can put legislation and or regulations in place to further, right now, this is our first go-round.
Mr. Chairman, everything that you're saying, that's not in this bill. This bill does not say this will happen next term. If we want to do something like this, we should wait until the votes are cast, and then whoever has the majority next term can introduce this legislation. And you mentioned Philadelphia, and we heard the president last night say bad things happen in Philadelphia. The reality is bad things are happening in this committee. This is a bad bill that should never have been brought up. This is unacceptable and a despicable piece of legislation.
Thank you for your comments.
No, and Mr. Speaker,
Representative Solomon.
No, Mr. Speaker, I'm not finished. Mr. Chairman.
You are finished.
I'm not finished.
You are
I'm
finished.
not finished.
Why can't he finish?
No, and I think I should be allowed to finish. I was elected just like you
If you would lower your tone.
And you can tell me to lower my tone, but I'm not going to lower it when we're talking about our democracy and people's votes.
Make your points. Finish up.
Thank you. As I was saying, this bill would allow ballots to be subpoenaed
It specifically says you can't subpoena ballots.
Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman.
That's in the Constitution.
Is a farce. It would allow you to subpoena, and as it says in here, would have the Sergeant of Arms enforcing these subpoenas. And so is it your intent that you're going to enforce a subpoena against county election officials with the Sergeant at Arms, Mr. Chairman? Does the gesture mean yes?
The House of Representatives in the Constitution has an obligation of oversight of the departments and everything else that it's created. It has the authority to have subpoena power. That's in the Constitution.
A lot of things are in the Constitution that this resolution is ignoring, including the fact that folks have a right to have a free and fair election, which this is going to blow up. This is unacceptable, Mr. Chairman, and I will tell you.
You've said that 5 times.
I know, and I'm glad that you're keeping count, because this is unacceptable, and I am so disappointed that you would even bring this up. When I read this and it had your name on it, I was so disappointed. And you should be too. You should be ashamed.
Okay,
and
now you're down to personal
Mr. Chairman, I will make a motion. You can make whatever points you want. You're not going to shut me up. You are out of order, and you've been out of order.
Hey,
you have been out of order.
Representative Kenyatta,
the member to
listen,
speak
I will have, if you don't get under control.
Then you're going to have security come drag me out.
Do not threaten him with security.
Well, then get your member under control.
You're going to have security come drag me out, Mr. Chairman?
Get your member under control.
Mr. Chairman, you're not going to say, get me under control. You need to get your caucus under control.
No one is getting Malcolm Kenyatta under control.
Are you making a motion?
What you're doing, your caucus is acting more like a cult than it's acting like a caucus. And I'm going to end my statements there. Personal. I am ending my statements there. This is personal because the democracy is personal to me. It should be personal to you.
Are you making a motion?
Yes. My motion was to table this legislation.
Thank you.